Welcome back to Chicago Independent Television. One of the top international stories of the past year has been Hackergate scandal in Britain, affecting Newscorp and its chair, Rupert Murdoch. The scandal could also impact American media and has spurred Chicago media activists to action, as we'll see in this next segment.
In the summer of 2011, the Rupert Murdoch-owned media conglomerate News Corporation came under fire when further evidence of illegal phone hacking for journalistic purposes was exposed. Great Britain went into uproar when it surfaced that tabloid journalists had even been accessing the voicemails of Millie Dowler, the 13-year-old English girl who was murdered in 2002 while she was reportedly missing. These revelations shocked the country and eventually led to the shutting down of the News of the World tabloid after 168 years of publication. The true scope of News Corp's bribery of police agencies and corrupting of high-ranking politicians is now reaching public awareness and making citizens more wary of big media in the process. Mike Hoyt, executive director of the Columbia Journalism Review, explains News Corp's reach.
News Corp, a corporation with a tendency and a history of using journalistic power for its own ends, to accumulate more power, and using journalistic power to, intimidate politicians and regulators and even the police. That's pretty shocking, and it's an abuse of power.
Craig Aaron, president of the Free Press, argues that this abuse of power stems from too much media in too few hands.
I think that the real problem, the long-term problem, is the problem of too much media concentration, too much media power in one company. And it's really a collusion between those in power and the most powerful media companies, and that they begin to look out for each other and do special favors for each other. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. That's certainly been going on in England, and I don't think there's any question it's been going on in the United States as well. That's why U.S. regulators, who this year are going to be reviewing our media ownership rules again, that's why they cannot try to divorce this from what's happening in England.
The immorality of Fox News' organization, Murdoch's people in England, can come to a head in this country and get their licenses revoked. Theoretically, American broadcast licenses are to moral corporations to serve the public interest. We're hoping that Fox News will soon lose its American licenses and no longer have such a sway over American public opinion with their terrible biased programming.
The American broadcast stations under News Corp's umbrella are licensed by the FCC, and as such are obligated to serve the public interest, convenience, and necessity. If a broadcaster neglects to do this, the FCC has the right to revoke their license. However, the history of the FCC actually revoking licenses is next to nothing, though some Americans are pushing for the FCC to act if criminal activity is indeed found in the United States. Activists across the nation have set up their own protests against big media, and in the recent Occupy movements, Rupert Murdoch has become the poster child for greed and unethical business.
Broadcasting license. I mean, it seems a little unlikely that that's actually going to happen. I mean, the FCC, like you said, the FCC hasn't taken a lot of action, and I mean, with success seeming like such a high bar, what do you hope to accomplish?
At a minimum, we would hope to raise awareness of this issue as far as our more realistic goal in the short term. And it turns out that that can actually make all the difference as far as long-term media policies. Increased public awareness directly leads to increased public involvement, where that awareness and involvement has been lacking.
On July 22, 2011, Chicago activists gathered outside the Fox Chicago headquarters to bring awareness to the phone hacking scandal and also to encourage citizens to challenge broadcasters at a local level.
It's good to remember that this whole thing started with a single reporter, with a notebook and a computer and a lot of questions, and, an editor who let him keep writing about it. And that's kind of heartening that good investigative journalism has that kind of power.
With more and more citizens stepping up to raise awareness about the need for media reform, we can be hopeful that the FCC will take notice and be more strict when reviewing media ownership rules.
intelligent, free-thinking individual? Do you have rational and well-researched opinions on any of the following subjects? Does your global outlook not fit into one of two preconceived and oversimplified categories? If so, you may have a problem. But don't worry, the solution is only one click away. It's called the mainstream media. If consumed on a daily basis, the mainstream media can help significantly reduce the symptoms caused by individuality and autonomy. For years, millions of people around the world have been trusting the mainstream media to help relieve the pain and suffering caused by thinking about stuff. Millions of tests have proven it. This is John before he began consuming the mainstream media. Whether we like it or not, every aspect of our daily lives will be in some way affected by peak oil. It's unavoidable. And this is John after only 30 days of treatment. I sincerely believe that Britney Spears is not fit to have custody of her children. Kevin has repeatedly proven himself to be a much better parent. Say goodbye to complex questions and intelligent debates, and say hello to Timberlake, Hilton, and terrorists. So much terror, you'll be terrified. Don't live another day without it. Ask your doctor or government about it. The mainstream media. The mainstream media, because you're not paid to think. We're paid to do it for you.
Side effects may include a zombie-like existence, belief in fairy tales, and willful submission of constitutional rights. Results may vary.
Brought to you by people who have much more power than you do, making the world a better place. For us.
You've been watching Chicago Independent Television, a project of the Chicago Independent Media Center Video Collective. The Independent Media Center is a growing worldwide network of media producers, journalists, citizens, and activists, working to put the media in the hands of everyday people and away from corporate and commercial interests. To learn more, visit our website at chicago.indiemedia.org. There you can find out about upcoming Chicago area events and how to get involved in making your own media, including how to help make this very TV show. Thanks for watching. See you next time.